You ever wonder why life, when you were younger, when you were a kid, 5 years old, 4 years old, 3 years old, maybe 7, maybe even 6, you ever wonder why when you were that young, life was so great? Just imagine, look back on that time of your life, when you were on the playground, running around freely. Maybe it was recess, maybe you were in class, but everything just seemed so new, fresh, free, lovely. You were just happy all the time as a kid. Now, of course there was moments where you didn't feel so good because maybe some kid in class, I don't know, did some shit to you. Maybe a teacher failed your test. Of course there was moments you didn't feel good. Maybe your parents didn't give you the ice cream you wanted, and you started crying about this. I actually just randomly had this memory when I was walking home with my parents one day after school, and maybe I was like 6 or something, maybe 8. And I wanted to get the ice cream at the corner store. I was asking my dad, I was like, can I get the ice cream? Can I get the ice cream? He was like, no ice cream. I forgot why, I can't remember. But I just remember getting home and being so mad about it. I was so sad, I was like crying in my room because I didn't get the ice cream. The fact that I remember this is crazy. Because I think what happened, my dad came in the room and let's just say he taught me not to be such a fucking baby in that moment. But anyways, I feel like I'm going around with this story. But my point with this is that when you were a kid, yeah, you experienced negative emotions. You did. But primarily, when you weren't feeling these negative emotions, life felt so great and free. It's almost like this mystical, nostalgic thing whenever you think of yourself as a kid. At least I have this experience. I'm very curious if other people have as well. But guys, you ever wonder why life felt so amazing and all of a sudden a lot of older people, and by older I just mean 18 and up basically, a lot of people, now they're depressed. Now they don't like life so much. Now they think older times were better. They think life got complex. Maybe they have a job they don't like. Maybe they have more responsibilities. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel like it's summer anymore. Now you're just back in work mode. And it's kind of like this gloomy perspective that a lot of people have on their lives now versus when they were in school, when they were 5 years old, 8 years old. And I know a lot of you might be resonating with this. I'll tell you right now, I love my life. But I didn't always love my life. I was on the gloomy side. I was like that for a little bit. I'll tell you right now the reason you guys felt so good when you were kids and why life felt so free and abundant and beautiful when you were young. It's very simple. It's a scientific thing. When we were kids, when we were very young, we didn't have the capacity to overthink. I want you guys to realize that right now, that your reasoning that life doesn't feel so good is because you think too much. It's literally it. In fact, you know what's really funny? The idea that your life isn't so good now, but it was better back then, that's a thought itself. That's all it is. It's not reality. It's not out here in the world. See this little piece of wood? This thing right here, this is real. I'm touching it. I just smelled it. I threw it. It's real. That thought you have that everything sucks and the world is a bad place and that your life is horrible and everything is bad, it's a thought. It's not real. It's not something you can grab. It's not in this reality. My voice, as you're hearing it in this moment, it's real. This is a real sound wave coming through your phone right now. A real vibration, just bzz, shooting out. It's real. You right now, you sitting down, whatever you're doing, You are real. Those thoughts you have, they're not real, okay? But here's what's funny. Here's what's interesting is when you were a kid, you weren't capable of thinking as much. You weren't capable of overthinking. So for example, like when I got the ice cream when I was a kid and I felt mad about it, I had a thought that like, damn, I want ice cream. And then my dad was like, no. And then I was like sad because I didn't get the ice cream. But that's all it went to. It didn't get deeper than that. Like it didn't become this thing where I started to like judge myself for my sadness. You know, I call this meta thinking. It's when you start to think about your own thoughts. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't like thinking in my head, it's weird that I'm so addicted to the ice cream. Why am I getting emotional over this? You know, like I didn't have those mature thoughts. And you guys might have those thoughts. I mean, if you're on this video, you have that thought. Because you might be thinking you're depressed, or you might be thinking the world sucks, or life was better when you were young, right? But here's what's crazy. You can have a meta thought. You could have a thought about that thought. You could be thinking about, oh, it's interesting how I have this thought. Does that mean I wonder if this thought is real or not? That's a meta thought. And then guess what? You could have a meta thought about the meta thought. You could think, man, it's cool how as a human I can have this thought that's about this thought. And then you could have another thought, which is, man, I'm glad I can have appreciation right here about this thought, about this thought. You could just go forever. This is what I mean by overthinking. This is what I mean by humans have the capacity to do this. When you were young, you weren't intelligent enough. Your brain literally didn't have the brain waves capable of getting into these states. Your brain only had brain waves capable of other states. So here's the main ones that you guys should learn. There's beta, there's alpha, there's theta, there's delta, okay? You were a kid and life was so blissful. In those moments, you were operating in a very theta brainwave state where you were very creative. You were it was like dream-like. That's actually a good way to describe it, because when you're in a dream, you're operating in that state. Every time you're dreaming, you are essentially operating in the same state that you were when you were young. That hit. Isn't that very interesting? That's why in dreams, sure, you can have a nightmare. You can have negative emotion. But you're not like overthinking the thing. You know what I mean? You're experiencing it fully. Nightmare or happy dream, you're experiencing it fully. Isn't that interesting? Right now, if you're in the moment with me right now, if you're with me in this moment, you're not thinking about tomorrow, you're not thinking about yesterday, you're not thinking about me 5 minutes ago, you're thinking about this very moment, you are operating in like a theta brainwave state, most likely. Which I'll tell you right now is the key to satisfaction in life, is you have to operate more in this state. Alpha is very similar, it's just not as dreamlike. It's a little faster. Your brain is a bit more active in these moments. And then there's beta, which is what you don't want to be in all the time, which is what a lot of anxiety comes from. Is you guys are operating in a very beta brainwave state. This is where anxiety comes from. This is where worrying comes from. All these non-existent problems and your worries about them, that's where they come from. It's super interesting. Essentially, the one way to look at this is like when you're in flow state, you're operating at almost like a slower brainwave state, like theta. And I know you guys know what flow state is. If you ever done something that you love and it just really got you in the moment, and all you were doing was thinking about that one thing, that is being in a flow state. It's the meaning of life. When you were young, when you were 5, your whole life was just flow state. That's why I felt so fucking good. That's why you have nostalgia towards it, because your brain, your body, your heart, it wants to get back into that. And now let me tell you how to do this. How do you activate these superior, honestly, in terms of... Well, here's the cool thing. The beta brainwaves, the fast ones, the overthinking ones, you need that. You need that capacity to overthink, to have meta thoughts, to do all these things. In fact, if I didn't have them, I couldn't make this video. I wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't have been equipped with the right tools to think deeply enough to make this video. I just wouldn't have. It's like, imagine you were in flow state for the rest of your life. You wouldn't be able... It's not even possible. How could you possibly be in flow state forever? At some point, you got to become conscious enough, self-conscious enough to, like, switch to a task or something, right? So you need that. You need it. The problem is it's this powerful tool. Think of your brain like this very powerful tool. And if you use it against yourself, you are fucked. You cannot stand up against that thing. That thing is extremely powerful. The same brain that's in your body is the same brain that did so much in this world, man. Same one. Albert Einstein has the same one. Sure, I guess he's slightly different, but honestly, it's kind of the same thing. So really the problem is you don't use your brain for its correct purposes. You go in the wrong brain waves for the incorrect reasons, basically. That's really where it comes from. How do you solve this problem? I'll tell you. There's a few things. One, meditation is beautiful. Why? It helps you access these other states of your brain. If you were to sit down and just breathe 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30, I am telling you right now, you will slow down your brain waves. That will happen. So for example, I catch myself. I sit down and maybe I'm thinking of like trying to check my phone. Or I'm thinking, a common thought that would happen to me is this impatience, this feeling of impatience. Which is very interesting. It's like a feeling slash thought. But it's like this feeling of impatience. Like I want to just stop meditating. Or I think, how the fuck am I going to do 20 minutes? Damn. Should I really do 20 minutes? How about I just do 10? Impatience, right? You could view this as anxiety, honestly. And that's a common thing that'll happen to me. Or I want to check my phone. Or I don't know, I feel like I need to adjust my body. I don't know. You know what it is? It's like your brain just wants to do something because you're so used to just doing shit all the fucking time. And not everything's productive. You might be just checking your phone all the fucking time. It's a lot of fucking work. You think that that's not a lot of work. It's a lot of fucking work. Your brain is being fucking slapped in the face with that shit all the time. Brain wasn't meant to be distracted so often, so frequently. Whenever you just keep checking your phone and doing shit impulsively, you are really awakening and engaging your beta brainwaves, the fucking anxiety-inducing ones. You're kind of signaling to your brain that you're in danger. That's really what it is. Like a fucking tiger comes out of nowhere. Trust me, your brain shoots into beta, like danger, fuck. We need to become conscious of what's happening. We need to make a change here. We can't be lost in this moment necessarily, right? It's actually really interesting, but my alarm rang. I have to get lunch in a little bit, but oh man, my stomach feels kind of weird. I had this fucking food yesterday that I don't normally eat. I noticed an excess of dairy makes me feel kind of I don't know how to explain it. Let's just say my stomach don't feel that good. But the show must go on, guys. I don't give a fuck. Here's a nice mindset you guys can adopt from me. I can do less. No. I can do more with less. I say that all the time and I really mean it. I can do more with less. Does it sound cocky? Sure. Do I think the world, the men as a whole, need to be more quote-unquote cocky? Honestly, yeah. I don't think you have to necessarily be cocky towards others. Like, I don't think you got to act like this, but I think internally you should think highly of yourself. So anyways, to get back to what I was saying about the brain waves and the whole tiger analogy. Meditation is beautiful because what happens is I get these impulses that I want to like do something, or I want to think about something, or I think about this random thought. And then eventually, I don't know, 5 minutes go by, those thoughts go away. Those like impulsive, impatient, trying to check my phone, trying to fucking move my body thoughts, they kind of go away, honestly. And then after 10 minutes, and by the way, this is a estimation, right? It's not always like this. I'm sure for everyone it's slightly different, but I'm just telling you my experience. But let's say after 10 minutes, my brain as a whole just kind of slows down. And then after 15, and then once we're getting to the 20-minute range, I feel strong. I start to have like more positive thoughts, which is very interesting, honestly, because I've heard people, especially on YouTube, I've heard people say this idea that as humans we are inherently negative and blah, blah, blah. And if you don't work out, for example, you're going to be in a negative mood. But here's the thing, I can meditate and I can end up in a pretty positive mood. So what's that about? Where am I getting that from? If humans are inherently negative, where am I getting that from, honestly? I'll tell you right now, it's the fucking brainwaves. I'm diving deeper into different brainwaves, given what my body wants. Because like I said, by 20 minutes, my body, I feel stronger sensations. I feel very present. My brain as a whole is way more slow. My thoughts aren't racing as much. My thoughts aren't... You know what happens to me, actually? Is I start to have really random thoughts. But they're not like super frequent. But it's almost like this random memory just comes up. So random. It never really means anything. And then I think what's happening is that those are moments I'm really entering theta wave states. And essentially that's what dreams... It's like dreaming. Like I'm dreaming. You know what I mean? I don't know why it feels healthy to do this. It feels healthy. It's almost like I have to do this. But anyways, I'm almost like entertained by my own mind by that point. Like by the 20-minute mark, I could keep on doing it. I don't feel impatient. I don't feel bored. I don't feel negative. I don't feel anxious. And I do this 2 times a day. Meditate 20 minutes 2 times a day. Sometimes I've done more than 20. Sometimes I have, in the past I've done less than this, but I can tell you 20 minutes 2 times a day is beautiful. 1 in the morning, 1 middle of the day. I think they're both pretty crucial. It's hard to say which was better. The middle of the day one's nice because it's almost like, all right, brain, calm the fuck down. We've been doing shit nonstop. Let's just step back. Step back. Right? And it's almost like I teach myself, like, I'm the fucking boss here, not this brain. I'm the fucking boss. Guys, I really do think meditation is one of the hardest things to do in this world. It might be the hardest thing to do. In a world where people are so constantly stimulated, what could be harder than forcing yourself to not do anything? What could be harder than that? So yeah, meditation has been really big for me recently, but that's one thing. What's some other things that'll help you access these brainwave states better? Really, it just comes down to what lowers your anxiety, what lowers excessive thinking. In simple forms, doing lowers excessive thinking. So I know meditation is like the not doing. That's one thing. But then the next thing would be doing. But what do we do? Positive habits. What's a positive habit? Something that's actually good for you. Not something that feels good. Something that's good for you. And what does that mean? You honestly, you fucking know. You've been told this your whole life. Work out. Walk around. Be a good person. Conversate. Be social. Eat healthy. All these things are going to lower your anxiety. All these things are going to allow you to activate these desired brainwave states, flow state quicker. I could just pull out my phone and talk to it and do this nonstop. And I don't get in my head. I'm not like, oh my God, what am I gonna say now? No. I'm here in this moment. Why? Because of the things I just said. I work out frequently. I'm on my diet. Very healthy food. When you eat a bunch of bullshit, your fucking brain just gets fucked up after that, man. Fucked up. Like, you know the concept of getting tired after eating? Like, that doesn't happen to me. And it shouldn't happen to you. If it happens to you, it's because you're eating some shit. Or you're not active enough. But that's it, guys. To recap, the reason when you were young, life felt so blissful and beautiful and amazing is because you didn't have the capacity to overthink. You were just experiencing something like a dream. And scientifically speaking, this is the idea of theta waves versus beta waves, for example. How do you activate these states more? How do we make life beautiful again? We have to be in this moment. We have to try to snap ourselves into this moment. We have to look for the clues of our younger selves. Because I bet you your younger self was probably more active. I bet you your younger self was more social. I bet you your younger self took more risks. Why'd you stop? Go ahead, be more active, take more risk, be here in this moment more, eat healthy, sleep more. It's funny because sleep is beautiful and amazing, but it's almost the least important one. And I know that's a controversial statement, but I guess what I'm saying is I've had amazing days where I don't sleep very well. But have I had amazing days where I don't do the other habits? That's more rare. I don't think I've ever had an amazing day where I just eat fucking bullshit all day. Like, that one really fucks me up. Anyways, let's get back on it, man. You gotta be a kid again. I'm telling you, that's the way to live. That's the way to live. Right now, do I have any sense of like, oh, what do people think of me? No. When you were a kid, you didn't have that either. You just walked around, fucking screamed and did a bunch of dumb shit. Now you're trying to conform to society and be like everybody else. It's all bullshit. And finally, pro tip, and here's the action step for you guys. Start meditating on a daily basis. 5 to 10 minutes if you're a beginner. And if you want to take it up a notch and really reach these really deep, blissful states, 15 to 20 minutes, in my opinion, is like that desired mark you should reach. Have a great day, guys. I'm about to go to the gym. I'm about to work out. I'm about to take a nice cold shower. I'm about to do some work. I'm actually going to play some instruments, some music. I'm about to go out and socialize and hang out with my friend. And I'm about to go back home. About to do some yoga. And then I'm about to go to bed and call someone I care about. All these things, the reason I do them is because they put me in the fucking moment. They bring me in flow state. You got to start your day with these things, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. And if you want to work with me personally, you want accountability, you want a coach, I can help you out. I got you. Link in the description to work with me personally. Have a great day, guys. Peace.